The Erythran Empire was vast, spanning dozens of star systems. Its citizens were known for their intelligence, elegance, and, above all, their strict hierarchy. The royal family, feared and admired alike, upheld centuries of tradition, and none more rigid than Queen Althira, matriarch of the empire. The queen's daughter, Princess Lyrielle, had always been considered useless in the eyes of her mother. Unlike her older siblings, Lyrielle lacked the natural command of the Erythran court, the instinctive grasp of interstellar diplomacy, and the aptitude for combat that marked the royal line. Queen Althira, pragmatic and unyielding, determined that the only way for her daughter to prove value was through an arranged marriage. To a human. Beginning, the arrangement. Humans were considered outsiders, often underestimated by the Erythrans. Their technology was primitive, their society chaotic compared to the ordered perfection of the Erythran Empire. Yet, among the queen's advisors, one argued convincingly that a human could bring unpredictability, a spark that might forge Lyrielle into someone of worth. When the arrangement was announced, Lyrielle's expression was a mix of defiance and resignation. "You call me useless," she whispered to her mother. "And yet you think a stranger will make me anything else?" Queen Althira's eyes hardened. "It is not your feelings that matter, daughter. It is your duty. Accept this human, or accept your continued irrelevance." The human selected for this union was Captain Marcus Hale, a decorated officer aboard the Odyssey Vanguard, known for his courage and strategic mind. To the Queen, he was expendable, a foreigner whose loyalty and intelligence would be tested to their limits in serving the Erythran princess. Marcus arrived at the Erythran capital unaware of the full scope of his assignment. To him, this was merely another diplomatic mission. He was trained for combat, negotiation, and survival, not the nuances of alien politics or the wrath of a disapproving queen. Middle, the marriage and transformation. The wedding ceremony was grand, a spectacle that dwarfed anything Marcus had ever seen. Alien architecture towered above, lights of bioluminescent hues illuminated the plaza, and thousands of Erythran citizens watched in anticipation. Lyrielle entered, her steps hesitant but dignified. She avoided Marcus's eyes, her pride masking her uncertainty. Marcus, however, approached with calm respect, bowing slightly and speaking in the few Erythran phrases he had memorized. "You honor me," he said. "I will serve you as my duty and my choice." Lyrielle paused, surprised. Most humans would have been intimidated, awkward, or mocking. Marcus's composure and humility struck her. Though she had been forced into this union, the human before her did not behave like an outsider. He behaved like a partner. The days that followed were challenging. Lyrielle tested him, intentionally placing him in situations where his skills, patience, and judgment were pushed to the limit. She expected him to fail, to falter, to remind her why humans were lesser beings. But Marcus did not fail. He navigated Erythran politics with ingenuity, learned their customs quickly, and defended Lyrielle in public and private with courage and precision. Slowly, the princess began to see him differently. His presence did not diminish her. It challenged her to grow, to think, and to act with greater confidence. Lyrielle's transformation was subtle at first. Her posture straightened, her voice grew firmer, and she began to participate actively in council meetings, relying on Marcus's insights without feeling diminished. The very human she had once been forced to marry had become the catalyst for her awakening. The first great trial. Months later, a crisis erupted. A rogue faction from a neighboring star system attacked the capital. Energy shields faltered, the city's defenses wavered, and chaos spread through the streets. Queen Althira watched from her throne, her advisors scrambling, fearful that her empire might crumble under this threat. Marcus reacted instantly. He coordinated defenses, organized evacuations, and anticipated enemy movements with a strategic acumen that surprised even the Erythrans. Lyrielle, emboldened by his guidance, led citizens to safety, commanding troops with newfound authority. The queen observed in silence. For the first time in years, she realized her daughter had become capable, decisive, and respected, not because of her birthright, but because of the human she had been forced to marry. When the battle ended and the city stood intact, Queen Althira approached her daughter and Marcus. Her eyes, usually cold and unyielding, held a glimmer of awe and regret. "You have exceeded every expectation," she said, addressing Lyrielle. Then, turning to Marcus, she added quietly, "And you? You were not supposed to accomplish this." The Queen's regret. Over the following months, Queen Althira's regret became more apparent. She had underestimated the impact a single human could have, not just on her daughter but on the empire itself. Lyrielle had grown into a leader, a diplomat, and a warrior in her own right, guided subtly but profoundly by her human consort. The queen's pride was bruised. She had tried to mold her daughter through force, only to find that her daughter's strength came from a partnership she had not anticipated. Marcus had not only protected Lyrielle but had elevated her potential far beyond what she herself had imagined. "I thought forcing her would break her spirit," the queen admitted to her advisors one evening. "But instead, it has forged something stronger. Something I cannot control." Lyrielle, seated beside Marcus during council sessions, was a testament to this transformation. The human and the princess worked seamlessly, balancing each other's strengths and weaknesses. Their influence extended beyond their immediate duties, reshaping alliances, strengthening diplomacy, and inspiring both human and Erythran troops alike. The test of loyalty and trust. The queen decided to test the humans' loyalty further, sending Marcus on a mission to negotiate with a volatile alien faction. It was a mission no one else could attempt, fraught with danger and political nuance. Lyrielle insisted on accompanying him, determined to stand by the human who had reshaped her life. Through diplomacy, cunning, and courage, Marcus succeeded. He secured an alliance that would stabilize the sector for decades. Lyrielle's respect and admiration for him grew even further, while Queen Althira's regret deepened. She had forced this marriage to control her daughter, yet Marcus had proven that human ingenuity, resilience, and moral fortitude could surpass even Erythran expectations. The final triumph. Years passed. Lyrielle matured into a formidable leader, respected across the empire. Marcus remained her partner, advisor, and confidant. Together they faced threats, brokered peace, and defended the empire against those who doubted humans could contribute meaningfully to Erythran society. Queen Althira, now older and wiser, could only watch from the sidelines. Her daughter had become everything she had wanted, not through force, obedience, or manipulation, but through collaboration and trust with a human she had once thought insignificant. One evening, the queen visited Lyrielle and Marcus privately. She had learned humility, the value of perspective, and the consequences of underestimating others.